welcome to another mobility session. Today we're focusing in on the shoulders. So find yourself a comfy spot on your mat. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Just take a second to enjoy the moment, forgetting about any stress that might be affecting the rest of your life. Just focus on being here. It's just you, your mat, and your breath. And let's focus on directing that air deep into that lower abdomen, controlling the pacing of that breath, finding a pace of breath that helps you find calm. And we'll start to scan through the body, focusing in on those shoulders. On your next exhale, imagine those pecs completely relaxing, letting go of tension. And taking a breath, focusing on those lats, relaxing through those wing muscles. Focusing on your breathing. Relaxing through those traps. And through your face. And just feeling your head and neck sink a little deeper towards your mat. Just letting go of all that tension and stress. Let's take one more breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll take our attention into the left pec. So going face down on your lacrosse ball. Start by searching through that pec, finding a spot that needs attention. There might be a knot, might be some fascial stuff. Anything that feels like it's not quite moving like the rest of the tissue, let that be your spot. And then find the right angle to lean in on that lacrosse ball and get that pressure. And then find the right amount of tension. And you can do a lot to change that tension by just lifting parts of your body off the mat to lean into that a little deeper. And we are focused on the shoulders, and what most people will struggle with is that overhead. So think about moving your shoulder into a position you tend to struggle with. If you find it's a fight getting your arm into an overhead, just move that elbow above the line of your shoulder. And that can help you release that muscle in the position of restriction. And let's take one more breath here. Take your time letting go of that breath. And we'll switch into the left lat. So keeping our attention on the same shoulder, we're just going to flip sides. Take our attention into the armpit area, that wing muscle area. Lats tend to carry a lot of tension in the armpits, but it's a big muscle. And if you're not super up to speed on anatomy, just focus on how things are feeling in that general area. And anything that feels tight or restricted is fair game. And then do some experimenting with the type of stimulus that it needs. Again, if you move that arm into an overhead, releasing in the position of restriction, that can be really helpful. As long as you're not diving into pain and we don't have any adjacent tissues tightening up, there really is no wrong way to do this. Your body will give you clues. So just pay attention to how that body's responding as we move into that pressure. And every chance we get, circle back to your breath. Find that pace of your breath that helps your mind find calm. So your mind can help to calm that tissue. Let's take one more breath here. We'll let go of that breath and move into the left tricep. So we're going to pan through that back side of your upper arm. Like the name would indicate, there are 3 heads on the tricep, and any one of them can be tense and carry tension. So do some searching. If we search while we're in an overhead, again, that can be helpful if that's a position of restriction for you. So do your diligence. Just search for what your body needs in terms of stimulus, in terms of location. And once you've found that spot that needs attention today, and you've settled into the type of attention it needs, focus back on your breathing. Imagine exhaling tension through that tricep as your lungs let go of air. Just staying nice and relaxed and chill mentally, allowing yourself to enjoy the moment. And let's take one more good quality breath, directing that air deep into that lower abdomen. And take your time sighing out that breath. And move into a left side shoulder traction. So there are a few variations of how to traction the shoulder. Using a band can be really efficient. For accessibility, we're just going to demonstrate the child's pose version. So if you just pin your left wrist to your mat with your right hand and gently lean away to just get a subtle pull. You may not feel much here at all. All we're looking for is a little bit of pressure release in the joint itself. And if this is a new exercise, especially if you have any kind of history with shoulder issues, go nice and easy to start and really pay attention to how this is impacting your shoulder area. If anything's tightening up at all, use that as a sign to ease up on that tension and find the level of tension your body's ready for today. Let's take one more breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll grab those PVC pipes and move into an external rotation. So if you grab that pipe with your left hand and just bend it back like you're about to throw a hammer, and then grab it with your opposite hand and just pull it across your body. We'll pull ourselves into an external rotation stretch through that shoulder. And you can experiment with the angle that we've got the arm at. If you want to continue working on that overhead, if you just move your elbow up and out to a 45-degree angle while keeping that rotation stretch. Or you can hold a front rack position, elbow straight out in front. Whatever position we have, focusing on staying passive through that shoulder. And that said, in a few seconds, we're going to gently get active. And here we go. Now imagine gently arm wrestling that pipe towards your midline. Slowly ramping up tension as we go. Let's add some big tension here for these last 5, 3, 2, 1, and let's gently reverse. Imagine actively pulling your wrist to the outside of your body, rotating far as we can, ramping up tension here as we go. Big tension to finish, and big breath out, relax. Nice and passive through that left arm. Keeping a decent amount of tension using your right arm, but not pulling into pain. Scaling back to whatever level of stretch your body's telling you it needs. Let's take one more breath here. Take your time letting go of that breath. And we'll move into some shoulder circles with this left arm. So just a giant big circle with this left arm. Trying to gently nudge it along the outer limits of its range. And while we're doing that, doing your best to keep your shoulders square and not rely on your mid-back for this circle, keeping the attention on the shoulders. And as we go, gently working that shoulder deeper into the end limits of its range. And generally we want to really make it work between a direct overhead and that 90 degrees past that overhead. And let's finish strong. Really add some tension for this last rep. And we'll take a quick relaxing breath. We'll shift our attention into the right side. So back to your mat, on your lacrosse ball. Let's do some searching through that right pec. Look for what needs attention. Experiment with the type of stimulus we're giving, what kind of angle we're leaning at, how much tension we're leaning in, and then settle back to your breath. Focus on getting nice and passive through that pec, keeping it synced to your breathing, maintaining a nice, good quality breath at that pace that allows you to find calm. Every chance we get, breathing through the nose to help us find that calm. And that pacing and strategy of breath will be a little different for everyone. Find that pace and that exact strategy of breathing that helps your mind relax. The body will always follow the mind. Let's take one more breath here. And take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll rotate into the lats. So sticking with the right side. Do some searching through that right lat. Look for what needs attention. And again, if we have this arm into an overhead, that can be helpful in freeing up the tissue in the position of restriction. And once you've found your posture, you've found your spot, settle back to your breathing. And use that breath to help calm your mind. Every exhale, imagine getting just a little softer through that lat, just submitting to that pressure to help free up this right side for better movement. Mentally staying nice and calm, allowing yourself to enjoy the moment. Just imagine any stress you've been carrying just floating away. All that matters right now is you and this lat. And calming everything down. One more breath. Take your time letting go. And we'll shift our attention into the tricep. So again, if we move that arm into an overhead and just search through the whole back side of that upper arm, look for what needs attention, experiment with the type of stimulus we're applying, how much tension we're applying, and once you've got it, settle back into your breathing, doing your best to keep your triceps synced with your breath. And taking this opportunity to turn off any muscles we don't need. We don't need the lower body right now. We don't need those muscles in your face. Just hit the off switch. Find that nice state of calm throughout that whole body to help stimulate that healing and recovery mode. And we'll take one more breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And grab that PVC pipe and focus in on that external rotation on the right side. So grabbing it like a hammer, bending it back towards your body, pulling it from underneath your upper arm with your left arm, pulling across your body to find that stretch. And think about reproducing a position you struggle with, whether that's front rack or whether it's overhead or somewhere in between. Try to find that shoulder in a position that we can use this pipe in this exercise to help improve. And taking a couple breaths to find calm. And in a few seconds, we'll gently get active. And as we get active, imagine arm wrestling that pipe towards the middle of your body. And let's go ahead, starting with easy pressure. Imagine rotating your wrist towards your midline, slowly ramping up tension as we go. Big tension here towards the end. 3, 2, 1, and let's gently reverse that. Imagine actively pulling your wrist deeper into that shoulder rotation, slowly ramping up tension as we go. Big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. Get nice and passive. So we're staying active with your left arm pulling into the stretch, but we're nice and passive and relaxed through that target side, through that right arm. So using your breath to help that shoulder find calm and just get used to this position. Let's take one more breath here. Take your time letting go of that breath. And we'll move into shoulder traction on this right side. So again, if you're familiar with the banded option, feel free to use that as an alternative. We're going to demonstrate a child's pose option. Just gently pinning your right wrist to your mat and leaning away to find that subtle pressure release in and around the shoulder joint itself. Focusing on your breath. Relaxing those muscles in your armpit. Finding just enough pressure release that the body feels it needs today. Don't need to do anything aggressive. Should be zero pain, zero feeling of instability. Find that position and that amount of pressure and tension we're applying to help free up space in that joint and allow us for better movement. And we'll take one more breath here. Take your time letting go of that breath. And we'll move to some handcuffs. So starting with your hands behind your back, assuming that a rest position, and moving your arms out into a Y, slowly moving those arms along the backside. Finishing with your hands together behind your back, and then reversing the process back up. And each rep as we go through this minute, just imagine nudging yourself a little further towards the outer limits of those shoulders. And generally, the harder we work here through this minute, the more benefit we get through everything we've done today. So let's be a little more aggressive as we go, paying attention to how that body's responding. And let's finish with some good force and finishing up this last rep. Really squeezing, and we'll finish up wherever you're at. And with that, we are done for the day. You are free. Thanks for joining us here today for some 5-pillar mobility. Hope those shoulders are feeling great. Hope you enjoyed the session. And if you liked the video, please remember to subscribe and like, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.